You're tuned in to Just One Hot Mom with host Nanika Ansari. Get ready. She's about to bring you that fire, that flavor, that heat, all that passion, and more from around the world and in your neighborhood. Stay tuned.
Hey, howdies, you are tuned into Just One Hot Mom, and I'm your host, Nanika Ansari, and Happy New Year! We are back. I haven't talked to you guys until since the second week of December, so I'm glad to be back on air with you guys. I hope you guys are tuning in this evening. Give you an update. What has happened since I was last on? Well, one, I turned 40. Yay, your girl is slaying 40 right now. What else happened? Oh, and I just took a break. I took a much needed break. But in the midst of that break, two of the strangest people I know sitting next to me right now called me, and they wanted to make surprises come true for each other. So your girl jumped into action, and we're here now because they are engaged. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hi.
You know what? Rick has an attitude right now, but he gonna get over it in a minute. So my sister Ayesha and my future brother-in-law Rick are here, and we're here to talk about the infamous proposal video. I did not know at the time that I posted the video that it would get over 50,000 views. Wow. 50,000 views, and I think it was like at 600 shares. So, and we went through and we looked at some of the comments and the shares, and it was like black love, black love. So I said, well, how should I start my year out? And I was like, no other way than to talk about black love. And who better to do it with than my sister and that man sitting over there. So let's get into this. How's your celebrity status now that you've been shared with 50,000 people, and probably even more? We don't even know who shared the share. Rick is saying that they're a celebrity status, so I'm just curious. How has it been since you've become a celebrity?
Fine.
You know what? Don't start with me, Ricardo. All right, so how has it been? Like, what was the reaction that you were getting from people about, the proposal video and everything?
I personally didn't believe that everyone was going to watch it like that. I thought just like my friends, her friends, you get about like 360 likes and about 400 views, and then that would be it. But we had 2,000 views.
That was like in a couple hours. Yeah.
And then I started getting calls from you, saying, hey, your views are crazy.
I kept getting that little notification. Yeah. I was like, I want to turn it off, but I just want to see how far it goes, like how many people are sharing it and to get their responses. And let me tell you, Ayesha's trying to low-key act like she's not a celebrity, internet celebrity now, but she went back, and everybody who shared it, she went back and she liked their post.
I just was saying thank you. I always say thank you.
You didn't even know, those people.
There's people in Guatemala, Guadalupe, Canada.
Look, y'all, we was doing some research to figure out who is this. So now that you're at a celebrity status, how's that going for you? Are the guys at the firehouse giving you a hard time?
No, I don't even really think they even understand views. I mean, they're older guys, so they're
don't
just
sleep on our older community.
Yeah, they don't know anything about views. They kind of just like, hey, congratulations. It's really good. I like the way you did it and everything else. And but the view part, I think that missed them. That's for the younger people. So a lot of younger people like, oh my God, they were circling it and posting it. Some of my old football players. So that's like something that younger people do. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I never really looked at the views. No, not until this. I never looked at views. Now I'm looking at everybody's views. So I'm sitting up here like, well, how popular are we? I'm like, oh, the cat and the dog, 7 million views. I mean, well, we can't beat that.
Is he competitive? That's all. It has nothing to do.
It has nothing to do with actual proposal video. No. It's just that he wants to make sure he wants more views.
Yes.
I did see another proposal video come out, and I'm just saying y'all still are higher.
Look, we're looking.
Both of y'all looked at me like, what? So now that the video is out there and everybody saw the proposal and we know what happened behind the proposal, were you both surprised, or who was surprised and who wasn't surprised? Because it actually was supposed to be Rick's birthday party and Isha's proposal. Were you surprised, Rick? Tell me.
No, I was
Look,
surprised.
I could tell you lying right now from that smile that you have.
You know what?
He knew about it.
If you're going to just keep talking, you're going to always be right. So I'll just let you just talk. So I was surprised. I knew something was up, but I didn't know what. So we went to a cigar bar first, and the guys from East Cleveland Fire came in, and that was really cool because it was my old shift. And then we left there, and she said, we're just going to go bar hopping. It was me, her, Tone, and Vanessa. My best friend and his my best friend and his wife, who I call my sister.
A couple of our best friends.
We got a bunch of best friends
that were with us.
Yeah, we had a bunch of best friends. Yeah, Samika was with us.
A bunch of our friends.
Yeah, a bunch of our friends were with us. A lot of our best friends, and then so she said we were bar hopping. This is no lie, I swear. So we ended up getting to the Sixth Man, and we got to that bar. And I get there, it's like 5 people sitting in the bar looking like you know how people sit in the bar like this is where I come every night and just I got problems and I'm just in my bottle right now and I'm just like where is she bringing me? You know, no one's out in the bar.
It was nobody in the bar.
It was like 5 people and 2 of them were barmaids and I think the game was on or something like that. And then she started leading me by the hand, and I was like, where's she taking me? It's dark back here. I said, she gotta go to the bathroom? And then the lights came on. They were like, surprise! So I was surprised. But I'm a person that my expression on my face doesn't reflect how I really feel.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not true. That is not true.
That's true.
So
no. Well, that's the only thing people get from me is when they know when I'm annoyed.
Because that vein.
Yeah. that you lately have been bringing out.
So you were like, we were surprised, and you were really surprised.
I was surprised. I was really surprised. Then the people that were there, I was really happy to see because some of those people I hadn't seen, and it was all factions of my life. You know, whether it was from the fire department.
There were a lot of people.
Yeah, there was a lot of people there.
You know a lot of people.
Yeah.
So in the midst of all of this, Rick and I are like making eye contact because I know about the other part of the surprise. So I'm making eye contact with her. Isha is oblivious to what's going on. She just like, we finally got here. So I'm like, Rick, we making eye contact. I'm like, when you gonna do it? So he starts to give this speech. And this is where it comes in. So how were you feeling like while he was giving the speech?
I was like, when he said come up, I'm like, well, why does everybody have up their phone? But then I'm like, okay, it's a surprise still, and he wants to say something. And then, so when he starts talking, and I'm like, okay, you're welcome, you know. And he started, so uncomfortable. I was, because everybody was like, you know, and I'm like, what are they doing? And I still at that point didn't know. I just thought that they were taping it because it was a surprise and they wanted to get, and I think like at some point somebody was like, don't cry. And I'm thinking like, are you crying? Like, oh my gosh, I did such a good job.
You still thinking this party all about what you did. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, I had literally no idea.
So we are all watching your face because like almost everybody else in the room knows what's about to happen. Rick goes down on one knee. Tell us about that moment. How did you feel?
I don't know. I can't even explain it. I was like, oh my God. Like, what are you doing? And
you did ask him that, like, what are you doing? So, I was about to yell out like he's praying, but you know.
No, you yelled out so loud.
Because I was like, okay, finally I could stop holding that secret in. Like, you know, like the both of them don't realize how much I actually talk to them. And I didn't realize how much I talked to the both of them up until like the week leading up to this. I think I talked to you, both of you, like every day for at least an hour every day. And I was like, at one point I was like, I don't want to talk to them ever again. Like, ever again. But let me tell you, even before we get to Rick's surprise and the proposal, it was almost ruined. Because we're out there decorating for Rick's party, and some lady walks in and she's like, congratulations. And I'm like, for what? And she's like, you know. And I'm like, no, we don't know. Nobody knows.
And it was my mom's friend. I just told her today that my mom was like, I didn't tell anyone. I said, yes, you did. Because I walked out, and actually I didn't remember her. She's like, we went to school together. And I was like, okay.
She went to school who? Us or mommy?
No, us.
Oh, I have no clue who it was.
It was Monica.
Monica who?
Okay.
Oh, Outlaw?
I don't know. But nonetheless.
We don't know who it was.
So she said, oh, your mom's friend. She was like, congratulations. I was like, on what? And then Nikki and my best friend were standing behind me, and they were like, yes, congratulations on the party. I was like, thank you. You know, like. But I was so like,
I think you were so in the zone. Both of you were in the zone. Like,
Yeah.
you both were really distracted. And people were like, how did you keep the secret? And I was like, well, they were so caught up in their own surprises for the other person that I was like, shh. It was very easy to keep the secret.
Yeah.
It was very easy. Shout out to Muhammad, who really helped me keep the secret and keep you both on track and keep you both focused. He
That's
did
a surprise.
Good job. He even said himself that it was a surprise. He was like,
He should be
normally I
proud
can't
of
keep
himself.
He did tell me, he was like, Nick, normally I can't keep secrets. Don't tell me nothing else. I was like, don't worry.
Telephone,
now that I look back on
you
it,
know, like telephone, telegram, tell Muhammad. You know, just
You're not going to treat
no,
Muhammad like that.
I honestly, now that I look back on it, like stuff that Muhammad was like, it's gonna be a great night. He said that the day before, because I was calling like complaining about it, and he's like, it's gonna be a great night. So in my mind, I'm so thinking about this party. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then when we were at the cigar bar and I got out of the car, because he was yelling at me. Because I was trying to drive him around. His truck is so big, and I couldn't see over the steering wheel.
she was driving terrible.
And he was like,
And then she was going down the wrong street in East Cleveland. Anybody know where Rosedale is at? Yeah.
He's like, this is the wrong street, so I tried to turn around.
Oh, she tried to go down the street.
Well, I was going to turn around when I got down
Said,
there.
no, you don't want to go down with the end of that street.
Well, I tried to turn around, and when I got the car, his friend Tom was like, he's like, oh, just get out the car. He's like, you know, and then he's walking me across the street. He's like, tonight is going to be great. And I'm all like, you're right, Tone. It is going to be great. And he's just like, now I'm thinking like this because he knew, but...
So, like, everybody knew. And when I say you guys, like, everybody in the family, trying to coordinate a family and friends to keep a secret is so hard. Like, never again. Like, don't tell me no other secrets. Let it be a surprise for me, too. Because that was so hard to keep it from both of them. Because I have a good relationship with the both of you. It was hard to keep that secret from you guys. But let's get into it. Because a lot of the posts we've seen about the proposal, people have been like, black love. This is going to happen to me someday. Sis, he said, wait, the favorite part, I think the part I kept hearing repeat was like, he said she embodied God. And everybody was like, that's right. If I just pray to Jesus, I'll give you a good thing. It's true, girl. It's true. I was going to ask you, what prayer did you pray? Because everybody knows that Sierra prayed a special prayer for Russell Wilson. So what prayer did you pray to bring Rick into your life?
I think after my last relationship, I had wrote a list, a specific list, and like I prayed over that list, and I actually showed him.
That's funny.
I showed him the list. Like, I don't know, we had been dating for like a month.
Yeah.
And I showed him the list, and he was like, this it? And I was like, and I'm like thought so highly of my list. So I was like, yes, this is it.
She
He's
had
like,
stuff on there.
What was the stuff on the list,
don't
Rick?
tell me.
No, I'm gonna tell her one of them. One of them stands out.
What?
She was like, "I want somebody to do yard work with me." I mean, that's her in her
is a
voice.
big thing
No,
for
but
her.
that's her voice. I want someone to do yard work with
That's
me.
not how I said
That is
it.
how you said
You
it.
know what? I know he's telling the truth because just as competitive as you are with the views, she is really competitive about her yard. Like, she want to have the best looking yard on
Yeah.
the street.
You're cutting it wrong.
So your prayer, so you had a list.
I had a list, and I would pray over that list. Like, this is what I want. And when he was like, that's it, I was like, okay.
Your little janky list, huh?
Yeah, like, it wasn't nothing.
So, Rick, before you two men, or when you first started dating, what was in the back of your mind? Did you pray about meeting a woman, or what was the back of your mind when you guys started dating?
I didn't want to date anybody.
Yeah, tell them that story.
Yeah,
How
I
we met.
didn't want to meet her.
Really?
Yeah, the
I
truth.
feel my sister like
No,
that.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah, he was at well, the day that we were supposed
Here's
to meet.
here's the story. So
sorry,
So
you
my
can
brother
tell it.
Muhammad. Yeah, you like telling the story. Let me tell the story. But my brother Muhammad called me early in the week, and he goes, "Hey man, look, I want you to meet somebody I think she'd be perfect for you." Mo, I really don't want to meet nobody, man. I'm cool. This, that, and the other. This, I'm really good. No, man, I really think she'd be good for you, man. I'm telling you, she'd be perfect. I was like, man, I really don't want to meet anybody, man. You know how, don't want to meet
know how
anybody.
you
Yeah,
are.
you know how I am. He's like, Rick, I want you to meet her. That's all there is to it. It's Sunday, 5:00 at the restaurant. And we owned a restaurant at the time. And I said, yeah, okay, whatever. I blew him off. By that time, I'm hoping that everybody forgot this, that, and the other. So I had football practice.
No, back up. Let's back up. He, first of all, Muhammad's wife is my friend, and she called me and said, "Hey, are you dating anybody? Would you like to meet this guy? I think he'd be great for you." And I was like, I was actually supposed to meet this other guy that same weekend.
It's coming out.
You already know this story. I was supposed to meet this other guy. Oh my God.
It's coming out.
So anyway, I was supposed to meet this other guy that weekend too, that my best friend had hooked me up with. Like, we hadn't physically met yet, but we had talked on the phone. And so she was like, I was like, well, send me his picture. And Muhammad sent him my picture, which I have no idea where Muhammad got this picture from.
It was a bad picture.
It was a very bad picture, and I looked fat, so he thought I was fat. And so
True.
And then
not that I have anything against people that are
you know what, that's correct.
I don't. I mean, I date people of all sizes in the past.
You know what?
I have. They're serious.
Okay, you don't. Okay, so right. So, and then Casey sent a picture to me
of him,
and I was like, first before she sent the picture, she was like, "Do you like light, dark skin?" I was like, "I don't like light skin," and she's like, "Oh." And then she sent me.
I don't like cinnamon. like I'm dark.
So she was like. So she sends me a picture. I was like, oh, okay. And I was just like, not like, I'm like, he all right. And so, but I agreed to meet with him. I wasn't acting like him, like I don't want to meet nobody. But I told her I was going to meet this other guy, and then so we decided that we would meet on Sunday. And then I never end up going to meet the other guy. And so
look at God.
On Sunday.
Well, I mean, if you just went by your best friend's track record, I mean, I would never meet anybody ever again either.
I'm not gonna live.
I hope she's watching.
I hope she is too, because I'll tell her in her face.
So you guys meet, and was it like at first sight, like, oh, I like him?
Well, here's the thing. Going back to what she was saying, I got the picture, and like I'm looking at him, like, is she okay? And then, then he was like, well, go on her website. She doesn't really have one. It's like with her job and everything else. I go on there and look at a few pictures, like, she okay. But I was like, I really don't want to meet anybody. I'm okay, So I don't. So we were supposed to meet at 5. I don't show up. So my brother calls, and Mo gets on the phone and goes, where are you at, man? She's up here waiting on you. And I go, man, listen, I don't want to come, man. I mean, just tell her we'll meet another time, man. I'm good. And he was like, and Mo, God bless you, Muhammad. I love you. He's a great brother, a great friend. And he always defer. He never stands up and say, go at me in exchange. And he says, if you don't get your butt up here now, I'm never talking to you again. And hung up the phone.
That's right,
and hung up the phone. So I'm in the alley of my building, and I'm sitting there in my car, and I'm just like, so I get in my car, I go up there.
And I have an attitude because he's an hour late.
So, and the restaurant was closed because he was doing a catering that day. And people were trying to come in. And she was scared because some of the people trying to come in were like really like, she's looking at him like, oh, please don't let that be him. Don't let that be him. So finally I get there and
he walks in and I was like, who is that? And I was like, this does not look like the guy on the picture that she sent me. And he introduces himself and then we start talking. We just like.
It was. I would be honest. I have very seldom. I think what they thought putting us together because we're both civically involved in the community and everything else, and we deal with young children. They thought it would be a good match. Plus, we're both super busy, so we would understand. A lot of people don't. It's always one-sided. And one person has a problem, the other one is like, "Come on, you got to understand. You know what I was doing." But we got to talking, and it was like staring in a mirror. And it was refreshing to hear somebody kind of understand where you come from. And then at first I was like, you know what? I had this conversation before with a few other people. And they always say, I understand and I really like what you do and everything else. But it still to this day has still maintained itself to be very evenly yoked.
And that was 21 months ago. And I think we had a conversation about the importance of being evenly yoked with a person and finding that person that you could say, hey, this is what I got going on, and they don't say you're too busy. I know Ayesha and I had previous conversations where, you're seeing someone, they're like, oh, you too busy or you doing too much. And it was like, then you can't be with me and just something like that. But when she found you, I was like, when she first told me about you, I was like, that it was that light skin thing.
You know what? I just want all the light skinned brothers out there there to know that we never went out of style. I think they mad at us because back in the 80s, we were really conceited, really conceited, and no one has forgiven us. So they went ahead. They went ahead and they tried to go another direction, but they can never get away. Look who she married.
But I wanted to ask you a question, Rick, because honestly, I think my favorite part of the proposal was the part that everybody else thought it was, and it was when you said she embodied God. And I want to know, what did you see in her that made that statement true for you?
Wow. Oh, man, that's loaded.
You know how I do it.
Yeah, but, well, from the first time I met her, she made it apparent she loved Jesus. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't a big religious guy. I'm very spiritual, but I'm not really religious. And for a time, I think I found my way on my own without God. So I was doing things almost, without his guidance and his hand on it, his finger on it, and his finger on the pulse of it. So sometimes the things that I would try to do or attempt to do wasn't always successful, or it was successful, but it wasn't fulfilling. So when she told me that, I'm like, okay. All right, and Muhammad warned me about these. Like, man, I'm gonna just tell you, man. She's a Jesus lover. She's a Jesus lover, man. I'll just know now. I know you ain't, but at the same,
really, she loves Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's how Muhammad sounds.
Right. Rick, I'm telling you now. Now you think Casey's crazy about some Jesus? I'll tell you, she crazy about some Jesus. So I said, okay, man, that's cool. So when I talked to her, I actually believed her because I've seen people before claim it and then they really don't live it. So then I walked her out to her car. We had a nice conversation. We got kicked out, actually. We was having a good conversation. So Muhammad kicked us out because he had to go make his deliveries. And then we got to the car and I kept looking at her eyes. I'm going to tell you something. I hate women that wear wear color contacts. But
you don't hate them.
I hate them. Loathe them.
You get on my nerves.
But I personally, I kept looking at her eyes, and I'm just like, wow, they're amazing looking, but I don't know if they're real because we're in the restaurant didn't have really great of lighting. So when we got outside, I said, can I ask you a question? Are those your eyes? And she said, oh yeah. She took her glasses off, and I just fell inside of them. And ever since then, I just been like, and that was probably when I fell for her. Just
really?
at that moment, she doesn't know. Just the first time I looked, and it wasn't the fact that it was the color of her eyes. It was just everything in it. To me, I don't want to sound cliches or nothing like
You're
that.
About to, but
at the same time, it's the only thing I ever saw and looked at and knew what I was getting. Trust. I was trusting. I could trust her just looking at her. So.
Right, we both
So yeah, I probably shouldn't.
You were doing so good.
And these two are absolutely crazy. But I can say, like, from the moment that my sister told me about you, it was the speech that she gave about you. Her wording was different. Her attitude was different about you. It was just a different vibe. Because at first I was like, First of all, he was late.
I was late. On purpose.
He was late, acting like he was all that.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't.
No, but I'm saying, when we're talking, it's you acting like all that in a bag of chips because you was late. And so it was like, okay, you really like him. And now she was like, yeah, I think I like him. Now that was where everybody started saying it 2 times, which is super annoying. Stop doing it in 2019. But she said she liked him. So I'm like, okay, cool. She like, well, you're going to meet him. And I'm like, that's the test, honey. The test is if you meet me and we can get along, you might stick around for a while. And that was 21 months ago. Right. And here we are.
Yeah. Well, I can just say.
Go ahead.
That, you're a pretty cool chick. I can admit that, even though you get on my nerves. And
you can tell people I'm super dope. It's okay.
No, you kind of dope, a little bit, But the thing is that it was one of those things that I really kicked it off with you immediately, and that was. She was jealous.
About us? Are these two in their relationship?
See, it always happens every time we start. I'm giving you some attention. She get like Coco.
Did you compare my sister to the
I compared her to Coco.
But no, I really thought it was important that he made an effort to get along with the family. Like, my father is not the easiest person to get along with, especially for men coming into our lives, with coming into our kids' lives. My father really, like, when I saw you holding a conversation with him and he wasn't, like, trying to avoid a conversation with you, I was like, oh, he might be able to stick around.
He was so nervous when he.
I was, because she's scared. But she's like, well, you know what?
Because that's how he
my dad is, he kind of act crazy about me, and then my Uncle Mike is really,
my dad and Uncle Mike.
And and the thing about it was, but it was organic.
But when we were in the house, Uncle Mike was so gearing up. Like, you were outside talking to my dad.
He still didn't. Even though my dad checked off, my Uncle Mike was like, let me have your phone number.
He was like, niece, get his full name. Yeah. I was like, okay. He was like, what's his license plate number? I was like, yeah, my Uncle Mike will do a full background check on you. Yeah. And then, like, he came back a week later. He called me, and he's like, he's okay. Like, he's clear. I'm like, okay, thank you. I really don't think it matters what you think, but to have a conversation with those two men that are very important in our lives, and for you to be able to hold your own with them was really big. So I was like, oh, he might be able to stick around for a while. We might get to know him. And then the interaction, I have to say, with my nieces. Like, my nieces are they're like my own kids. I didn't give birth to them, but I cut the cord so they could make it into the world. So when I saw you interacting with them, I'm like, okay, they like him. So then I'm interrogating my nieces separately from them. Like, do y'all really like him, or do y'all sort of like him? And they're like, we like him. Especially Maddie. Maddie, that's my
dog. Yeah. I mean, Morgan Pooh's my girl too. That's a different relationship.
Because she's a teenager.
No, me and Morgan just we like to irritate people together.
Yes.
So we want to annoy people.
We get along.
Yeah, and then Maddie is spoiled, so I spoil and kiss on her and hug on her all the time.
That's my girl. So as soon as she was like, okay, I was like, okay, Maddie, you sure?
Me and Maddie dance a lot.
What was it about their relationship, his relationship with the kids, or his relationship with Dad and Uncle Mike, that attracted you? Like, was it something in there?
Yeah, of course. I think
we're getting over this sickness, if you wonder why we cough so much.
I'm not trying to stay.
We're not pukey or anything like that, so carry on.
Thank you. No, I mean, from the very beginning, I think the first time he met Morgan, I was like, it was like by accident, because I was like, I'm not ready for you to meet my kids yet, and because I think I said to him, we were out one time, like we were out on a date, and before he met the kids, and he's just so kind and nice and so, like, attentive and everything. I was like, I don't believe that this is the real you. And I, like, told him that, and I was like, I don't believe you, I don't trust you. And he's, like, driving, and he was like, that's okay. And I was expecting, after I said that, immediately I was like, okay, he gonna be like, this girl's crazy. Like, I'm not about to deal with her. And he was like, that's okay. He was like, I'm gonna make sure that I get to see that this is who he really is. So, I mean, immediately when he met my kids, like, he just jumped right in, and they loved him from the beginning. They've never had any.
You know what did it for me? Is, remember that step, y'all? She got the step at her house that's like super huge. I'm a short girl, and he was like, I'm gonna fix that step.
He still haven't fixed the step.
We will,
but you know what? He helped me down, because the step is huge for a short person. He's like, let me help you down. I'm like, thank you, Jesus.
I'm thinking deck now. See, so I'm like, we build a deck off that bad boy.
Right, he was thinking, okay, we're not even about to
she always want to do the small things, because she.
So what is that supposed
to
be? She be,
fix the step.
Cheap. She be getting cheap.
I'm frugal.
No, you can be cheap.
I'm frugal.
Yeah.
But no, that was, for me, it was like how you just blended in with the rest of the family. And it wasn't like a strain on it. It was just like, okay, we here together. And he can kind of cook. Sort of.
No, kind of. I put my foot in it, and the ankles. Ankles and the foot in it.
Still needs some work.
No, she already know that's her thing. You're going to make that mac and cheese.
No, it's
Come on, baby. I need the mac and cheese. Come on, baby.
It's so embarrassing.
You're going to make that mac and cheese.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
You know what? My mom brings up a good point. She says that Uncle Mike did say if you could pass the test with the Jamaican rum. That's what it was. It was like if he could pass that test with the Jamaican rum and the rum ball, she was going to be good. And I kept thinking in the back of my mind, like, he about to die. If he eat all of these rum balls, then they about to give him. But it was a good conversation. We had an amazing time. And from that point on, I was like, okay, my sister is going to be safe. Like, that's the most important thing to me. For my sister to be safe and comfortable uncomfortable with somebody, the moment she just say she don't feel safe, she uncomfortable, I have to come in and take you out the game.
I think that's the main thing that I feel about a relationship. Is so protected. Like, he makes me feel so protected in everything. He's such a gentleman. Like, even now, I'm like, I'm not getting out of the car. And he's like, he always opens the door. He's just all the sweet things. But even if I'm like, I'm about to run into the store, it could be like just to get a pack of gum. He's like, turning the car. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, you're not going nowhere without me. I mean, he's just such a protector. And not just of the physical things, but like of my heart. So, like, from the...
I didn't cry at the proposal. I'm gonna cry today though.
Oh my gosh. So like that, he just like all the things that before the relationships, not to say I had like all these crazy men, but they just weren't the right men for me. And like even out of like, he just loved me through like my brokenness, like all the little broken pieces. It's like he picked them up and just started putting them back together and like protecting what he put together.
Oh, that's deep. Was that on your list?
Yeah, that's number 17.
That was not on my list.
Okay, so bringing it back to you though, Ayesha, because like, you know, your job, as we always talk about it before when we promote Young Life and everything, is to bring teen moms to the feet of Jesus. When Rick said that you embody God, did you imagine that in your life, that you were living your life in such a way that you would bring Rick to the feet of Jesus? I know, right?
I mean, as he's saying it, I think because we had several conversations about it, and in the beginning, and it's not that he didn't know Jesus or anything like he wasn't saved. It wasn't that at all. But I think just adding another perspective to it. Is he a Jesus freak? No, but I think even now when what I've seen, I mean, in our relationship, even when I'm like, my faith is wavered, or when I felt like where's God in this? Like, he'll be like, well, let's just pray about it. Or let's just like, I see him bringing me back. Like, probably, so I feel like we do that for each other. So it's not really where he's like, oh, I didn't have like religion or, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't around here being a heathen.
He wasn't a heathen. I think that's how you said it, though, honey. Like,
yeah, no, I've heard stories, though. You were kind of.
I was a little bit of a heathen.
But that was years before he met me.
Years before.
This wasn't right when he met me that he was just like out there and like.
But what I wanted people to recognize is because we kept having this conversation, or we kept seeing the post over and over again, like, this is black love, this is what it's supposed to look like. And I was thinking in the back of my mind, like, you know what, your relationship with Christ and your partner's relationship with Christ is what unites you and brings you that far. Like, as much as you guys are a great example of black love and what it is like to have an individual and a collective relationship with Jesus, I wanted you guys to kind of compare like how you saw God in each other and how that brought you together.
So, I'm sorry, do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
Well, how about before we go, hey hotties, we're gonna take a short break because I think this question is a little loaded and it's gonna have some details in it. We're gonna take a short break, so you guys stay tuned. Hey you guys, welcome back. I'm your host Nanika Ansari, and you are tuned into Just One Hot Mom, and we're on today talking about love is. If you guys don't know, over the break, my sister is engaged now, yay! And so she's engaged to Rick, and I'm sure you guys remember Rick from the Man Code show. So he's locked down now. But during the break, we were having a great discussion, and not even the question that we just get back from. So let's go back to the discussion we were just having about black love. And can you explain to everybody like what it is about black love and what makes it so powerful? Because I think that was a really powerful statement you just made.
Well, the thing about black love is that it's a wonderful thing. It's really kind of religious in its own right without it being so. And not to say it's anything against any ethnicity, but when anybody else from outside of black love is introduced to someone that's of black love, it's powerful and it changes you because it's something that they never experienced. We're very affectionate, loving, nurturing people, and our love is such. But the one thing is that everybody could agree on is that black love is insecure, and by it being insecure, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of reassuring, affirmation, and then kind of knowing each other's love languages, and also to nurture it and cultivate it constantly. Because I think what some people confuse as being a relationship being dead or whatever is really complacency. you know, because you've been in it so long and everything else, and you stop doing the things that got you where you were going because one or two people become complacent and then turn around and don't cultivate the relationship to the point where it can grow. I mean, just like any plant, you got to cultivate the soil in order for it to grow.
But I think you make up a good point that black love is insecure. I think sometimes we've been trained to be so like, don't trust another person. Like, you know, you do you and you be about you and you go in the world and you do what you're supposed to do for you. That for us to open up and trust other people is something new. Like every other culture, I think it's like, yeah, I trust you. Like, la la la, we're walking down the street. But for black people, I think it's very different. Trust is like you really have to earn it. And if you lose it, it's like lost forever. Like once we cut you off and we don't trust you anymore, it's a wrap for you and whatever else you got going on.
Well,
you want to say something, Ayesha?
No.
Well, I think when you deal with black love, there's a lot of layers to it. It's a lot of layers to it, and it's all predisposition of things that we went through as a people, the things that we had to do in order for us to survive, and that come from nothing but love. You know, there's a lot of things that people can say about black love and blackness in general, but there's one thing that you can't deny is that we're survivors. And I love kind of that way too. You look at some relationships and you kind of like, man, they still together because they endure and they really, you know, and kudos and hats off to black women across the world. They deal with a whole lot and they don't realize how much they mean to the world, not just to black people,
men,
you know, black men,
right.
but just to the world. She's the greatest example of Mother Earth, you know, and you can't do anything else more or less, you know, than just kind of just make sure that she's protected all the time. She's always, you know, if I can pick her up and just put her up and say, hey, the only thing greater than you is God, you know, behold, the only thing greater than you know, but no, but the thing is that. But the thing is that it works both ways because men also have those insecurities as well. And some of those things are because just the makeup and the dynamics of relationships that they've either seen, been in, and just never really matched up. But sometimes settled and stayed in it for a long, long time and then realize that you really kind of, you know, you're watching people go by and you do come across a person or two that you be like, wow, I really would love to get to know that person if it was another lifetime, because when I'm in now, I'm in, you know, but now, you know, when you find something that is actually as meaningful as something that me and Ayesha has, you have to realize it and you have to be present and available for it. So you don't have to, it's okay to be alone because you never know when your ship finally comes in.
So I wanted to bring it back to the other question then, like, what is it that you saw in each other that you could reveal that God was in the midst of what you guys had going on?
Well, mine's just at the beginning. I wasn't coming.
Lies.
Yeah. Well, no, I wasn't coming. And Muhammad's like, you do this or else, you know. Something got me moving towards the restaurant in Cleveland Heights. I was all the way downtown. And when I showed up and I saw her to my left, she looked nothing like her picture, for one. So
you know what, we always say that photogenic.
I'm not photogenic at all.
I always tell people like,
she was angelic. She was so beautiful. I was sitting there looking at her and I was just like, at first,
score a major
no,
points,
I'm
right?
serious. I'm not even, I tell her this all the time. So she knows this. So, but it was just the moment that I sat down, you know, it's like, hey, how you doing? I'm Rick. She said, hi, I'm Ayesha. And then it was just a lot of data being exchanged. But at the same time, it was great energy. And then we went back and looked at our text messages last week.
He kept the text messages, like our first text message.
Yeah.
Because he
I'll tell you later.
he kept it for our, like, he has all of our text messages. I don't even know how he has any storage.
Because I have a Samsung.
Anyway,
We ain't gonna even
iPhone.
we're not even gonna go there.
iPhone terrible. She can't even work a new iPhone.
Okay. So
We had to teach you how to work your iPhone. He got an iPhone.
And I got one and I don't even like it.
anyway, So, I don't even know what we were talking about.
No, I was saying, what is it? What
No,
was it
you-
about your relationship that when you saw God in the midst of this relationship that was different from others?
Well, I wasn't, I mean, we didn't hide the conversation. I guess because Muhammad had.
We're talking about the text messages.
Oh, the text. Okay.
That wasn't the original question.
No.
I got his.
She was getting to that.
Okay. The text message. Well, when we met, the day we met, and when he walked me out to my car, it was funny because I had like a little bit of my gray hair. Well, this is pretty fitting, but I had some of my gray hair out, and he was like, "Oh, you got a little bit, you got some gray up there," and I was like, "No, he did not." And he's like, "Well, take my number," and I was thinking like, he is such a jerk. Like, I was like, I can't believe you just met
You don't
me
like your gray?
an hour ago, and now you're talking about my gray hair. So I take his number down and I text him
Like, I don't see the gray. It's like ninja gray. You don't see me.
I texted him and I was like, "Hey, this is Ayesha. It was really nice meeting you." And then he, his text was like something. It got screwed up because he was doing like the text and talk thing.
Yeah, Android.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I do the same thing on the iPhone.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it does
whatever.
because it'll say, "Oh, it was really nice meeting you, applesauce."
You know, I'm like,
George, Bobby,
Like, what is
Ricky,
wrong
fire
with
truck. 1, 2, 3 asterisks. I'm like, what is this? Like, he's crazy. He's schizophrenic.
yeah. So I mean, after that night, because I was just smiling on my way home, like, because I was so angry with him because he was late, and then I was smiling on my way home, and then later on that night, he's like, "Hey, are you up?" It's like 10 o'clock at night, like, "Hey, are you up? I would love to talk." And I was like, I'm not texting him back tonight. So I waited till like 8 o'clock in the morning, like, "Hey," I was asleep. I was like wide awake, like just smiling. And I told him that, like, after we went through it, we had so many text messages, like,
Every morning.
and still every morning now we text each
Good
other.
morning,
every
beautiful. Good morning, babe.
Yeah, every morning.
I'm gonna be sick. No, I'm just kidding.
Even when we're upset with each other.
Even when we're mad, they still get the text.
See, I think that's a good thing. Like, even if you're mad at the person, you still have to work through that with love. What would you guys tell a young woman or young man or old man or younger woman? I'm just kidding.
What? Old man?
Y'all know
America. Do I look old to you?
Y'all, he gets on my nerves. What encouraging words would you tell them about waiting in a relationship or waiting for the right person? What would you tell them?
For anyone, whether it's male or female, just be patient. I think one of the hardest things I say in Black love is to be alone. Mm-hmm. Love yourself first. Be available and present when your time arrives and the person that you're supposed to be with arrives. Really think it through and then pray.
Well, what is that, though? Give us the male perspective. What does it mean to love yourself as a male?
Well, you got about 30 or 40 minutes? No. Real quick, there's a lot of things about us in terms of our community that the depiction of what a male should be in our community is really not a good depiction. And when it comes to relationships, we're told, by older brothers, fathers, uncles, grandfathers, we're supposed to go out and date as many women as we're supposed to possibly can until we decide we just want to go ahead and settle down. Well, what's happening is generationally speaking, it started out maybe at the end of your 20s, now the end of your 30s. Now you got guys at the end of their 40s, maybe 50 that, okay, now I want to settle down. But that's partially because of our own insecurities. The other thing is that if you want to just give a lot of the brothers advice, fix it. Just, and that's not, it's easier said than done, but you got to look at yourself. Ask yourself right now, are you happy? Are you truly happy? When you lay your head down, even if you have someone right now, is that the person you're supposed to be with? Are you really believing that? And then be honest. Be honest with whomever you're with, and don't drag them into the deep waters of emotions, and they end up drowning, because that's just the truth. What it is, you want somebody that can swim like you, or you want somebody that can't swim because you can't swim. Y'all stay your butt in the shallows together. But that's the thing, because if you have one or the other, one is in the shallows and one is in the deep, they're never going to ever meet. They'll never meet. One is going to, because the person that can swim is usually a free spirit. The person that can't is really introverted and right. You're right. And just say, hey, stay here. Why can't we just stay here? You know, like, oh no, I want to go down here and just dive 20 feet under the water. And this and another.
Smart.
So you always tell me that when we come on a radio show. But the thing is that's what it is. So find something that is you and that makes you feel secure and be honest with yourself. And I'm going to just tell a lot of black men out here, if you can do this one thing, spoil your girl. She deserves it. I'm talking about 450 years in this country. She deserves to be spoiled every day.
Amen.
Kissed on, face kissed on, everything. I mean, just spoil her.
I've had enough.
You know, that's the truth. That's the truth. I mean, y'all deserve it. Y'all actually absolutely deserve it. I mean, I got sisters, and I just want that for them. So.
Amen. I'm about to be a sister now. All right, so Ayesha, what information are you offering our young ladies?
Oh my gosh, I can't say it as eloquently as he did, but I think, you know, exactly, because we have conversations, we talk all the time, and I think exactly what he said, just waiting on the person that fits you. Don't try to make, because what happens for us as women, we know it's the wrong guy, and we try to make it into the right guy. We excuse all the things that they're doing, and, you know, oh, that's okay. Or, you know, when we do want versus need, we forego our list and say, you know, just accept anything. So don't accept anything. If it's the wrong person, it's the wrong person. And being patient, I think for black women, is very scary being lonely. Not having anyone, not having the support, and not just having the support, because when we say support, people automatically go financially, and that's not what it is. It's the protection part of it. Like I said, I feel so protected in everything, not just like physically, like he not even in spoiling, like he does, like his spoiling, it looks different. It's not like in always in physical things or monetary things, but it's just like the little things that he does all the time. He's so consistent.
Well, I think that's it.
He's very consistent. He doesn't, you know, change whether we have a disagreement or anything. Nothing with him changes in terms of, like, you know how some people get into it and they're like, well, I ain't gonna do this for her. Like, he mad. He's still walking around the car. Come on, get out the car. You know. But I mean, nothing changes. So just being okay with being alone. I know for me, for years, I struggled with. I would go from relationship to relationship because I was scared to be alone. And before I met him, I think I hadn't dated someone for about a year and a half. And that was like, I think I shared this with you the other night, or was it you? I don't know, either one of y'all.
That's how connected this is now, y'all.
Just one big amoeba.
I shared that, like, that was the best year of my life because I have finally settled on, I wanted to be alone. I wanted to figure out things for myself. And I enjoyed that time. Like, I had the best time with my friends. And then I said to myself, the next time I get into a relationship, I'm not going to give up my friendships. Because a lot of times when we get in a relationship, we like, I'm not calling my girl, she's single. But that's how I think when we talked about how do you live it out for people, this time around, I was like, when I met him, I was busy because I still was having like supper club with my friends. That
does explain a lot of the stuff that you did, though, because you started to do a lot of repairs around your house. I was like, you did. That explains a lot of that whole year. I did repairs. I did all the things that I love. So when I met him, it wasn't like, oh, I need to be in a relationship. So it wasn't like it was so organic. Yeah. It was like, oh, we're boyfriend and girlfriend now. Like, it wasn't like we're a lot of times.
Didn't I ask her?
We were just like,
y'all too old for somebody to be asking.
Well, will you be my girlfriend?
Not that we had to ask each other, but we didn't say like, okay, now we're in a relationship. Now we're in a relationship. We were just like, I didn't even ask him like, are you dating someone else or anything like that.
She took me.
I was like, I'm the only one.
That's right.
And we didn't have a conversation. You didn't ask me if I was dating anyone. He just knew, like, that's it. And, you know.
I knew.
So, all right, so let's get into it. So, you guys, they are officially engaged. My mission is complete. My first mission is complete. Get the ring. And now we're headed into mission 2, which is get her down the aisle. So, are we announcing the date now? Is it official? Is the date official?
Well, that all depends on the pastor that you're going to pick.
You know what? We're not about to start this.
The date is official.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll. What's the date?
September 14th, 2019. So in 8 months.
Yay! I'm so excited. Can you tell? No, I really am excited because being one, if you guys know me and my sister, if you go over to the Ansari Girls page and you watch our show, you know that we have a really close relationship. So walking this path with her, even in the last, like, how many weeks has it been? Like 3 weeks where there have been
It's been 12 days.
Many phone No, it feels like longer. But it's just been amazing to see her glow and to see her getting prepared for another phase of her life. So I'm excited. I really am excited to be on this journey with the both of you. But to also know that my sister, like, if you have a sister or if you have a friend, you got to be excited for them. And you got to be thankful that when somebody comes into their life, where when she says she feels protected, I feel like my sister is protected. I feel like my friend is protected. So, even, if you're praying for your friends to be in a relationship or to get out of a relationship, you really have to focus in on what they need, because I know what my sister needed and some of her wants. Like, I mean, it ain't my job to provide her wants, but I want to see her happy. That's something that I want. So I'm ecstatic to see you happy now. Yay. And I'm excited. I'm actually excited to be like brother and sister with Rick. He's super cool. We actually really do get along very well. We're the same sign. He's a Capricorn.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so what's the wedding plan process? They about to act up. So are you guys ready? Are we planning the wedding now?
Yeah.
Are we doing?
She's planning it.
Full swing.
I have it under control.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to help in the wedding planning process?
I would like to. I sure would like to.
We
Thanks for asking.
we had a wedding meeting today.
We had a wedding meeting. No, we had a wedding bludgeon. Just like,
With the two of y'all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we went to the restaurant and she turns around and was like, okay, these are the beefs and these are the and this is what I was like. Well, okay, I like mashed potatoes. I don't like mashed potatoes. I want the other ones. Okay,
That's
baby.
how it was.
Yes, how's exactly
No,
how
I
you were.
said no.
Wait, answer this. Are you going to be a bridezilla?
Yes.
No, it's him.
Yes.
It's him.
She's a bridezilla.
No, he has 800 people on his list.
Hey, listen, I have a lot of friends.
Okay, I'm telling everybody now.
No.
Don't be offended. Don't be offended.
We gonna get you there.
No, we are not.
We're gonna break the fire marshal occupancy
No, we're not.
on that building.
Daddy wants to add him to the show. First of all, he will not be on the Ansari Girl show. We love you, but you already know what it is.
I should be on the show.
No, we are not having. I'm being serious because I would like all his friends to know we love you.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
Love you. But you're not.
Yes, we will. Everybody gonna be
We're
stuffed
gonna
in the
put it on
house.
live. So.
But no, I'm really excited for you guys because I get to see Dad. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, my dad and my mom mean the world to us. My mom will be excited about stuff, and my dad, it takes a lot to get him excited about stuff. So he is really excited.
He is really excited. He has his own list.
Excited. He has a list, and I think I'm in charge of his portion of the list. So I'll be giving that to you guys once I confirm it. So, are you guys going to be willing to come back when you're 6 months into newlywed status? So, we're talking about in 2020, 2020, this time next year, are you guys going to come back on the show and give us an update on your newlywed status?
I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah. By that time, you probably have to sit in between us, but yeah.
That is not. First of all, we did not. He is such. We've gotten into how many arguments?
Bunch.
Bunch.
Yup. At least I did in my mind.
I'm glad you kept them in your mind.
I'm glad he kept. The ones that I know about is like 5, and they're conversations.
I had at least 100 in my mind.
All right, so you guys, we're going to be wrapping up the show, but because the show is called Love Is, can each of you give us a description of what love is in simple, quick conversation?
I'm gonna get mine first because his is be way better than what I am. Love is compromise. Love is support. Love is compassion. Love is he's like, wait, now I got something better than her.
Right.
It's not a competition.
Go ahead.
Love is true. Love is free. As simple as that. And it's God.
Amen. Look, he
So-
did it good.
And stand him.
I win again. Take that toe.
Hotties, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and becoming a part of my family as much as we have been a part of your family this evening. I'm so excited for the both of them. I'm even more excited to get them both off of my nerves. You can check out me and the hottest kids over at JustOneHotMom.com and on all my social media at JustOneHotMom. You can catch my sister and I on the Ansari Girls Show. So go on over to our Facebook page. It's the Ansari Girls Show, where we will be stepping in the name. Wait, I can't say that. Never mind.
No.
We will be.
No, that's no.
Where we will be gathering wedding stuff together.
Yeah.
Guess what, hotties? You've been tuned in and you've been elevated. Talk to you soon.